What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? AJ Good here at the House of Masks, and as you can see, my mullet is gone. So I'd like you all to join in with me in a moment of silence. Buckethead video, and today's video is not going to be on any mask in particular. I just happened to be over at the old place and I got my Buckethead stuff out, brought it over here, and I wanted to talk to you guys about the Buckethead oddball mask. That is what we are going to be referring to anything that he wore that wasn't a plain white mask from now on.
And that's the bottom line, 'cause Stone Cold said so.
But before we get into all that, I did want to address the question that I asked in the last video, and that was, who is your favorite guitarist? Had a ton of stuff, a lot of Dimebag, a lot of Jim Root, Tom Morello, a bunch of very cool submissions, and we had some Buckethead, and I gotta agree with the Buckethead people. Not only is he the greatest guitar player to ever walk the face of the earth.
Oh, it's true. It's damn true.
Probably unfair because he's a robot, but Buckethead is hands down my favorite. I think that he is the most all-around, technically advanced guitarist in the world. I think that he can play anyone's music as good as, if not better than they can, and I love watching him swap instruments, so when he hops on the bass or the banjo or something, I get super excited for that too. So Buckethead is my favorite guitarist, and that brings me to today's question. Who is your least favorite band of all time? I want to know the band that you hate more than anything. Let me know down in the comments, and I will bring you guys my answer in the next video. Back to the topic at hand. Today's video is a Buckethead video. As I mentioned earlier, we are going to be covering the masks that he wore that were not white masks. So these are not going to be the 83 Caesars that he would cut the mouth out of and wear regularly. Now, as you guys may or may not know, depending on how familiar with Buckethead you are, his appearance has changed over the years. Sometimes he wears a Jordan jersey, sometimes he wears like a blue thermal shirt, sometimes he wears a jumpsuit, sometimes he wears a rain poncho. But he always has used the white 83 Caesar mask. Sometimes they're modified with like some film or lenses in the eyes. Sometimes he has the mouth cut, sometimes it's left alone. But for the most part, it's generally the same thing. Now, with that being said, he has changed other things, like his buckets have changed over time. Sometimes he didn't even wear a bucket, but for the most part it is a bucket, an 83 Caesar, and some sort of outfit. Now, with that being said, he did wear quite a few other masks and still does to this day for different reasons. I've mentioned them in a couple unboxings where I've unboxed rare Buckethead masks that he either wears backstage, on stage, at conventions, stuff like that. He just wears a bunch of different fucking masks at different times because, like me and probably you, he is a collector. He just finds this stuff cool, and he's Buckethead, he can do whatever he wants. So why not wear a random Leatherface mask backstage? So today I'm just going to be quickly going over the masks that I have so far for the oddball set, and then I'm going to be talking to you guys about the ones that I plan to get in the future, because typically there's not a big market for Buckethead stuff. He is still technically considered a small act, even though he's been around for so long, and even smaller still are the people that are out here collecting this type of stuff. So me and probably a handful of other people are the only ones out there looking for it, so you can typically find this stuff pretty cheap. When it pops up on eBay, I try to grab it with the help of my friend Mike Covert, the mask guru. He can find anything. Hopefully we're going to be knocking these out pretty quickly. This isn't going to be the definitive list of the masks that he's worn, because honestly I don't even know all the masks he's worn. We seem to find new pictures and videos pretty regularly, but I'm just going to be touching on a couple of the ones that I do want in the future because he wore them either more prominently or that footage has been used more or what have you. With that being said, if you do see a random Buckethead mask unboxing video that is on a mask that's not featured in this video, that is not a big deal because I'm not including them. I'm probably going to show you clips of a couple masks, and that'll be the ones that I talk about in this video. But if I do happen to stumble upon another picture of a mask that he's wearing that isn't featured in this video, that is what it is. I hope that makes sense. I'm going to stop rambling now and show you guys these masks that are behind me. So this was actually the last video that I shot. It's the video right before this one, and this is the ape mask that he wore. This has no tags or markings or anything like that. I have no idea who made the mask, but Buckethead wore this out on stage once to do a dance routine with. So this one wasn't really worn that often, but it was one that he wore, and I found this for $5 on eBay with some shipping, so I went ahead and bought it, and it's in pretty good condition. I showed off in the last video there are some paint cracks and a little bit of dryness down towards the edge, but you really can't tell unless you're looking for it, so I think this mask should be in good condition probably the rest of the time that I'll have it. And yeah, that is the ape mask. I don't want to go into too much detail on these Herbie heads because they're not really a mask and I actually have like a definitive video on them. But I did want to include them in here because they're just weird old latex pieces Buckethead used. I have this, the Fresh Head, both made by Distortions Unlimited. He uses this one currently. It just has the hair pulled out and the eyes cut, but this is the most classic Herbie, and he's a little bit out of shape right here because he's been sitting on my floor in my bedroom, just kind of hanging out. But yeah, Herbie heads, Distortions Unlimited, they are not masks. A lot of people think these are masks, but they're actually puppets that were made by Distortions. So I did a video on this a few weeks back. This is actually an old Don Post Leatherface mask, and these are kind of rare but kind of common. I see them pop up from time to time. I just never went after one. But if you can find one for a decent price, like 30, 50 bucks, something like that, I would go ahead and scoop it up. Buckethead wore this backstage for a couple photos, and he also wore this for a pretty notorious clip online of him doing a tribute to Old Dirty Bastard. The only difference between this one and Buckethead's that I can tell is the fact that he removed the hair. I will not be removing the hair on this until I can find another copy to do so, because this one is in such pristine condition that I don't really want to fuck it up. But if I do find another one, I will take the hair off and add it to the Buckethead display. This is what became known as the Basement Sessions mask, because in a Buckethead DVD he actually released a video of him like playing piano and being really weird with some other guy while wearing this mask, and he like starts to remove the mask and you can almost see his face, and I don't really know what the significance of that video is. Doesn't mean much to me, but for some reason people talk about it a lot in the Buckethead forums, and it just is what it is. Now unfortunately this is not a vintage copy, and Buckethead's was a vintage copy. These molds have stayed around forever, and a lot of companies have taken them and just redone these plastic vacuum form masks. This is a new copy. When I ordered it they showed a photo of the old version, so I'm still actively looking for the vintage version. But until then, this will be a nice placeholder, and really you can't tell the fucking difference. Now last but not least, for the ones that I do have here in my possession, we have this weird old Paper Magic Group troll mask. I did a video on this a few weeks back as well. It was an unboxing video where I kind of showed Buckethead in some sort of studio doing like a jam session with a few other people that were in masks, and this is the mask that he was wearing in it. Super, super weird mask. I don't know how I feel about it, but most of these are just weird old masks. But it is what it is. I got it cheap, and it's here now, and it's part of the Buckethead collection. So moving on to the masks that I do want immediately. These are the ones that I'm going to be looking for in the near future. You guys will probably see some unboxing videos on these as they come, because I feel like a few of them I can knock out pretty easily, but the other ones are going to take some work. So first of all, there is a video of Buckethead dancing to Thriller at one of his shows, and he's wearing this skull mask. Unfortunately, I don't know anything about this mask. I know nothing about it. I don't know the maker. I've never seen it before. Although my best guess is that it is a Be Something Studios mask. I'll have to do some research on that, but for right now I'm just going to say that I don't know because I don't want to give you guys the wrong information. There's another mask that he wore in one of his DVDs. I'm not even sure what he's doing. His DVDs are very strange and I can't even figure out how to get them to play sometimes, but it looks like a French man. It's got this weird little pencil thin mustache. I believe that it's a Cesar mask. I've seen a couple of these pop up lately, so I'm pretty certain that I can probably find one pretty soon. So when that happens, I will let you guys know. One of the weirder masks, I definitely dig that one a lot. I'm just a fan of old like Cesar or Don Post face masks. They were just kind of weird. The next one is going to be an old Hellraiser piece. I actually have seen quite a few of these pop up on eBay, but they all look a lot darker than the one Buckethead wore. I'm almost starting to think that that was due to lighting, but then again, I'm pretty certain that his was just a lighter copy. Maybe these ones aged a little harsher, but I'm going to try to hold out a little bit longer and find one that maybe is a little lighter, because I would like to keep it as true to the photos of Buckethead wearing it as possible. Not sure on the maker of that either, but I will let you guys know as soon as I find out, probably in the video of me unboxing one in the future. And the last one that's immediately on this list is this weird Egyptian skull, and I've talked to a bunch of collectors about this, and no one seems to know who made this. Never seen a copy for sale, never met someone that owned one, so I just can't figure it out. If I do happen to run across this, I will let you guys know. Once again, probably in its own video, but I'm probably going to have to pick one up and have it in person to even give you guys any information about it, because honestly, I don't know. So those are the ones that I would like to knock out in the immediate future. There is another chicken mask. I never saw Buckethead wear it, but it was on his amps and stuff. In a couple of videos, I might try to scoop that one up, because I do know that it is still made, and it's just a little bit more expensive than I want to spend on a chicken mask. And then there is a couple here and there that I haven't even touched on in this video, because it just wasn't in the cards to do the research to try to fit those in this little teeny tiny video. So as I start knocking this out, and as we get a place to put all of this stuff, I'm going to be working on a Buckethead display. Super stoked on that. I think Buckethead is extremely underrated, and I think that he is just like the musician for people that are watching my videos, because he is like us. He's just a big fucking dork that thinks horror stuff is cool, and he tries to utilize that a lot in his act, whatever that act may be. So I just dig it. I don't think there's anything not to like about Buckethead, especially if you're here watching my video, so I would highly suggest checking him out. Not only is he probably the most skilled guitarist in the world, I can't even explain to you what's so cool about him, you just have to check it out. But as we start making this display, I will keep you guys posted. Like I mentioned in the video before last, we're just working on trying to find a larger house for me and Kate to have together rather than two separate houses. I don't want to put a bunch of work into this place just to end up moving in a couple of months. But I definitely have a cool idea for all these masks. They are basically going to be the background of the Buckethead display, so think of them as like a 3D wallpaper. But that is going to be it for this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. I know there wasn't a whole lot of substance to this. I was just kind of letting you guys know what's going to be going on in the near future as I try to knock out some Buckethead stuff in between some Meyer stuff, and definitely a lot of Slipknot stuff in the future. So I'm gonna go ahead and shut up now. I feel like you guys have already listened to way too much of my voice, and I'm starting to feel bad for you. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we will see you later.
Okay. I'm not quite...
Just kidding. I can't leave without thanking my patrons, and we got a new $50 patron overnight by the name of Tyler Rizzuto, so thank you very much, sir, for signing up. Hope that you enjoy the rewards and you don't back out right after this clown mask drawing is announced. And to my other $50 patrons, a shout out for you as well. Jake Nickel, Scott Fitzsimmons, Daphne Lavoie, Henry Sanchez, Peyton Browning, Charles McSwain, Shawners Todd, and Nightshade. Thank you all very, very much for your pledges. I hope that you guys are still enjoying the rewards, and I'm sorry that I repeat myself in every single video. Later. Thank you very much for watching. If you like this video, feel free to subscribe. If you like all of my content, make sure to find me on all my social media platforms. If you really like the House of Masks, consider becoming a patron. All the links will be in the description below. If you dislike the video, or me in general, make sure to write up a detailed formal complaint and shove it right up your ass. Thanks!